and today I'd like to talk about Bishop Taché and his role in the Red River settlement, both in developing Red River as the new province of Manitoba and creating an education system for the community. In early 1870, Manitoba was not yet a part of Confederation. Canada was made up of Quebec, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, and Ontario, meaning that it was a much smaller country than it is today. When he left to attend a conference of the Catholic Church in Rome, Bishop Taché knew that tensions were growing in the Red River settlement. The Métis, the French Canadians, and all others who were living here were alarmed that they would join Confederation without first having been consulted by the federal government. The government had purchased Rupert's Land, of which Red River was a small part, from the Hudson's Bay Company. On his way to Rome, Bishop Taché met with senior government officials to express that the people were unhappy about not being consulted before the land transfer. These officials dismissed his concerns, which was unwise, since they would later have to call Taché back to Canada to maintain peace and order in Red River during the resistance. Bishop Taché was well respected and trusted within the local Métis community. The Métis were afraid of legal consequences of participating in the resistance, and therefore Taché was presented a copy of the Governor General's proclamation, which promised amnesty to anyone peacefully involved in the resistance without committing any violence. Amnesty is when someone is not charged or held responsible for a crime they may have committed. Bishop Taché was also presented with a letter from the Prime Minister, Sir John A. Macdonald, who promised that any delegates sent from Red River to discuss the issues of the community and the land transfer would be well received in Ottawa, and that their expenses would be paid for by the federal government. Bishop Taché was also involved in drafting a final list of rights that would be discussed with Ottawa. Taché had an influence on Riel's closest advisors, who agreed that Red River should join Confederation as a province with the government accountable to the people, rather than be annexed as a territory that is accountable to the Queen of England. In Canada, a province has more autonomy to manage its own affairs, meaning the Métis would have a greater say in their future. Unfortunately, the government did not keep its promises. Amnesty was not granted, and the Métis lost most of the land that they had been promised. It was here, at the Archbishop's house, where Riel and Taché watched as Wolseley's troops arrived at Upper Fort Garry and imposed their reign of terror. Bishop Taché was also involved in creating the University of Manitoba, Western Canada's first university, in 1877. At the time, the university was made up of 3 colleges: Saint-Boniface College for the Francophone Catholic population, now the University of Saint-Boniface, St. John's College for the Anglican Church, and Manitoba College for the Presbyterian Church, now called the University of Winnipeg. His role in creating the U of M helps us to understand Taché's scope of community involvement regarding education by working together with other churches and the provincial government to ensure that higher education was accessible in Manitoba.